and everyone else must work with government to defend South Africa's sovereignty. This petty politicking of doing things and side shows is not going to help South Africa. That I'm the first to knock at Trump's office. And then I don't want my president to sit with Trump in that Oval Office after I've seen what he did to that president.
At least we've avoided a conversation like that tonight.
With that president of Ukraine. Trump's combination advance.
Maybe President Ramaphosa shouldn't go, actually.
No, he should go. Ramaphosa must go to America if he's invited. And then if he feels he needs to go, he must go. He's a president. He served the whole of South Africa. Our reaction to the ANC, to the politics of America will be different. Because to us, it's nothing else but imperialist aggression. Okay? And we must campaign and talk even to our friends of civil society in America to challenge this stance of Donald Trump and his administration of world policemen. Ramaphosa doesn't serve the ANC, only serve this great nation. And South Africa can collapse. And our relations, if they have to collapse with America, it cannot be on our part. We failed to pursue goodwill with the Americans. This government have had good relations with America in terms of trade and all of that. And it is for the first time in history that America directly interferes in our policy choices. Now they are eating into our sovereignty through President Trump. So that's why it is possible that they are closing us out. We are addressed through X every day. It's something we have never seen in diplomatic channels. The Secretary of State is supposed to be talking to Mbalula, and then it just says, I'm not coming to your country for that G20, and he say it through less than 140 characters on X. And it's done. It's not coming. I'm waiting for Trump tweet. Maybe tonight, I'm not even coming to that summit in South Africa or something like that. But he had a conversation with the president. He said he will come.
Wow.
And
okay.
Yes, when he came into power, he talked to the president. And then he said he will come. Of course, he's friends with our own old man here, the golfer. They play golf together.
Any else?
Yeah, we must press the back channel, not any else only. He plays with any else, he plays with everybody.
Sure.
So we must reach out to the American administration and make them understand. But for South Africans, like AfriForum and Solidarity, to go to America and badmouth our country like that, and then thereafter seek an audience with the president is disingenuous. Okay? It's disingenuous. They go to America, when they come back, they say, let's meet president. That's why president said, in my own understanding as a president of the country, I think you are disingenuous. You go and badmouth your own country, your own countrymen. I mean, white people in this country, we have defeated right-wing fringe as this country. I was in Australia with the Springboks, and they were beaten there. The stadium was full with the Springboks. And then after the game, we will go and sit, have pap and wors, because we had to think the South Africans in Europe, in Australia will come there. And I will address them and tell them how nice it is. They miss clip draft and all of that. And then I say, why did you leave? They said, we made a big mistake. So I say, why don't you come back? They say, we sold our farms. Everything is gone. We don't have anything there. But life is not good here. And then I can assure even those who want to go to America, we will address them when we go there in the World Cup with the Springboks, and they will not be happy about staying there. So there's no need for anyone to run away from this country. So we have fought side by side and defeated when there was AWB there and there. White South Africans, whether on the side politically of the ANC or on the other side, there was common cause among us that this is our country. We don't subscribe to racism, and we defeated right-wing tendencies, even after they killed one of our own, Krisani, to want to stop the momentum of freedom in our country. We were together. And that is why we talked about the Rainbow Nation and all of those things. And our diversity being appreciated, nation building and so on, which is still a project for South Africa. So I'm saying we must not give up on fighting for our country and simply give up on the basis of distortions and allow America to want to impose itself in our affairs. But their policy in relation to withdrawal in institutions and all of that, it must be a global attack in relation to multilateralism.
Right.
That is really from this position of Trump is under attack. Multilateralism has always been under attack, but not so fervent, decisively with Trump. Bush attacked multilateralism and went to fight a war in Iraq and Afghanistan. And he was supported by others. And then they didn't win anything in that war. Afghanistan and Iraq are still in tatters. Trump has gone further.
Well, Mr. Mbalula, thank you for this interesting conversation. And we're now going to pause and give some space to the audience. And so the way that we're going to do that is, first we're going to come to people in this room, and we're going to take 3 questions in this room. We're then going to take 3 questions outside in the spirit of democratic and the government of national unity, bring people from the outside in. And then we're going to take 3 from online questions. So let's start within the room, and can I please have 3 hands in this room for Mr. Mbalula? We'll take the questions consecutively. Right, so I see 1, 2, and 3. Please.
Thank you very much. You haven't spoken much about the smaller parties like the Freedom Front, who recently had, and no, I'm not a Freedom Front supporter, the question is going somewhere. They've recently had a leadership election and have a new leader, a leader who is quite pragmatic in his social approach, but quite clear as to what he wants for his party. So should they leave the GNU and it becomes unpopular, or it becomes popular for smaller parties, should they be willing to give up their ministerial seats? But should smaller parties start leaving the GNU and it's only you and the DA left, what would the ANC do?
Thank you very much. And that was a model of brevity. And could I ask the others asking questions to stick with that model? So,
Minister, not Minister, SG, Mbalula, sorry about that. So, I know you're not an economist, and you say you don't want to be an economist overnight, but I do want to ask a little bit about when you look at the grand GNU that was had in Germany, that collapsed. And one of the key reasons why it collapsed had to do with the budget. And then you look at, yes, we've had a few complications in South Africa with certain acts and laws that needed to be passed and political parties then opposed to that. And now you have the grand, I guess, opposal with the budget. Are there any lessons that the South African government in the GNU has taken from the German collapse, and particularly the fact that it collapsed over budget, and now we're potentially also looking at, well, some sort of opposition with our budget?
great.
Can you please offer advice on that insight?
Thank you very much. Sir at the back.
Hi, Secretary General. My name is Temblani Mazibuko. My question is with regards to the VAT. The ANC, we have not seen any commentary or conversation from the ANC around increasing corporation tax or the imposition of a VAT tax, or indeed tax evasion. A lot of mining companies do not pay tax, and it's in the billions in other companies. So why have we not seen that kind of conversation when it comes to raising revenue, especially because the ANC speaks about how it wants to fund critical as well as other infrastructure, as well as other public sector wages? Why have those things not even come out of the ANC, and we're only having issues of VAT, especially in a context where under the ANC government, VAT has gone from a high of over 40% to 28%. So why have we not had conversations around VAT as well as the wealth tax?
Great. So I think let's start with those three questions. It was smaller parties leaving the GNU, the German coalition breakdown and what can be learned around the budget, and then questions around VAT and alternatives to this budget impasse.
Thank you very much. If smaller parties start to leave, what will happen? There are no fixed answers on this. But we're committed to the GNU. So we don't want anyone to leave. There should be cogent reasons why people leave if they have to leave. We have created mechanisms, probably they are not sufficient. Should there be differences, how do we settle those particular differences in the context of the GNU? This is uncharted waters. What we know about GNU is only 1994, that the National Party at some point walked out, but the GNU stayed the course till the end. But that arrangement was institutional. So this one is voluntary. So when it actually happens, what will actually happen? There are options on the table. There are still options on the table that include a minority government, that include a grand coalition, that include supply and confidence. Should we not find each other in the long term? Meaning we're not going to get stuck and governance stop because this thing is collapsing. If it is collapsing and it is collapsing, there's nothing we can do about it. But at the present moment, we don't want GNU to collapse. If there are points of differences, we need to settle those particular points in terms of the discussion and the clearinghouse that we have in government. And that is why the president have appointed the deputy president to lead that clearinghouse. Already there are rumblings about the clearinghouse and so on. But that is the nature of these coalitions. In my office as the SG of the ANC, I have something that was not in the constitution in terms of powers and duties of the SG, added by the NEC called coalitions. I was not elected to manage coalitions. But because of the circumstances, I now deal with coalitions. And we have a team that we work with. It's difficult to manage coalitions. Very difficult. That's why Johannesburg is the way it is. And now you all want to blame it on the ANC because our mayor have said wrong things there and there. The problem is the ANC. The problem is not our mayor. The problem is the system. Because you don't give one party overwhelming majority to govern and show you how they can govern. Because the ANC governed for 2-3 months, and thereafter you have another coalition. And when that coalition comes, they get rid of the municipal manager, they get rid of everybody, and then they bring their own system. It's not sustainable within 5 years in a city like Johannesburg. That's why you've got potholes. For the first time in Joburg, you've got potholes.
First time, SG.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we've had them for quite a long time.
No, I've been a citizen and a resident of this city for the longest of time. And I know, at least after the new dispensation, I know that at least we've never had potholes in this way that we've got, because you govern from this end to this end and other new people come. Before Dada came in, there was somebody who was in charge. So for some time, and the political parties, our game, we blame each other. It's not us, it's this one. But coalitions have not worked for our local government. So we need stability in terms of the GNU And that is why we chose the GNU, because we chose stability. Okay? In the national interest of South Africans. We didn't choose the DA like it is portrayed, that we are partners and all of that with the DA. We chose the people who are giving us that terminology are people who are political flip-floppers in our political terrain, who say, no, the ANC chose the DA. Everybody was invited. They didn't come. The DA must be responsible in the GNU. The ANC must be responsible in the GNU and work for the citizens to achieve the goals that we have set for this country and so on. The second question...
Can I ask you to take these two together briefly so that you can go to the others?
Yeah, okay. I agree. We must learn from Germany, and not just Germany, Italy. You know Berlusconi, there in Italy. He was a president there. And the coalition's government changed like monthly in Italy. Germany now, it is happening in Europe like rapidly, all the time. So I don't know whether there's something to learn from there. But what I can tell you is that these coalitions in Europe, they collapse despite the fact that they've got experience of coalition governments over time. They collapse, they are not stable. Probably our GNU can show them that we can run a coalition for 5 years with all the difficulties that we've got. And then the last point about tax. All options are on the table. Wealth, corporate tax, and all of that. And I think that question needs to be answered thoroughly when the budget has been presented. Because I don't think any of this will escape when it comes to tax intervention by the Minister of Finance. Yeah.
Thanks. Let's take 3 questions from outside, please. Now, I'm not quite sure because I can't see outside, so we may need someone from the team to select 3 people. Looks like there's a stampede of questions for you, SG.
We seem to have more than just 3 questions.
Great. Well,
I don't know if we can accommodate more.
Can we take the first 3, please?
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. SG, my name is Kamukalo Modiko. My question, okay. You took that joke which I wanted to make about having Kabelo Kwamanda as the next president, which is a reality that we face, since now his name is cleared and things like that. You know? However, my question is regarding some of the comments that our colleagues have been having in the media and such things. We've been hearing about Edward Kitzwetter requiring 3.5 billion rands in order to collect tax more efficiently and so on and so forth. So my suggestion is that nobody must get fired, as we've been hearing, whether it's the minister from the presidency or...
Can I please ask you to come to the question, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Kitzwetter himself. It's just a suggestion. I'm just asking that let it not happen that anyone gets fired. Let's find ways to resolve the issues in terms of the tax efficiently, as long as it's not increasing the VAT. That's it. Thank you.
Good evening, SG. Just a very quick and simple question, and I appreciate all the response you've given to Sizwe. But please, can you just help guide what your view is in terms of how you think we can address the issue of unemployment within the next 3 to 5 years, please?
Thanks. And final one.
Good evening, SG. So it seems that the ANC's broad church has been pulled left and right. My question is, does the ANC have a real coherent economic and political ideology for South Africa, or does that depend on the ANC's future coalition partners? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll turn it over back to you, Mr. Mbalula, to answer those questions. And then we'll come to the online questions.
The first part was the comment that I think must be sent to the Minister of Finance as he prepared to present the budget next week. and I'm not undermining your point anyway, because I think you are making a comment and a suggestion that I think we must get it through to Enoch. Unemployment, we say in our manifesto, must be addressed through industrialization, because we have been working without industrialization over a period of time. And two, I think we need a buying in of social partners when it comes to creation of jobs. You cannot have a situation where companies disinvest and go to other countries when they've actually come to South Africa to invest. We have seen that happening in the past 5 years in our country, which those opportunities could have enhanced job creation for South Africa. Government can't do it alone, because government create an enabling environment for job creation. And government, through this network, must be able to address the impediments that business want to be addressed for industrialization and investment in South Africa. When it comes to political ideology, ANC coherence, we are very coherent. We are neither a capitalist nor a socialist party. We are a party of revolutionary democrats. So what it means is that we subscribe to a mixed economy in terms of the policy of the African National Congress. That's what we subscribe to. So we are not a socialist party. We don't want to dismantle the bourgeoisie and the capitalist. Okay? So we are neither in favor of a socialist arrangement in our country and so on. Other parties want that. And we are not a capitalist party, so to say. So that is why we characterize in our strategy and tactics, our relationship with capital is struggle and unity of the opposite. Meaning there are certain things we agree to, and there are certain things we don't agree to. Where we agree, we move forward together for better serving of our nation's interest in the long term. And that's what we have done since 1994 as a governing party. I used this word interchangeably, ruling and governing, and I was corrected. We are not ruling, we are governing. Okay? Ruling is happening in autocracies. We are not an autocratic state, we are a democratic state. So we are a governing party. So as a governing party over time, we have had these exchanges with business and capital where we have created a platform where we need to find each other. And this tool has worked for our country for years, which is network that others don't have in many other countries. So this is an important example that anyone can cherish.
Let's come to the final three questions, and you may not be able to deal with them exhaustively, but you can also just give a kind of summary of your thoughts on them, Mr. Mbalula. We have Jean Pretorius, who asks, what has the ANC learned from losing its majority, and how will it rebuild public trust while working in the GNU and with the DA ahead of 2026? We then have TK Pue, who says, why is the ANC demographic not inclusive of the actual middle class? Why have you continued to allow ZANU PF to infiltrate and destroy the region of SADC? And finally, Billy Klaassen says, we all see the propaganda campaign of AfriForum and Solidariteit, and they will be joined by your very own GNU partners to continue spreading lies. What will you as the leader of the GNU do? Of course, you won't be able to answer all of that, but if you can give some brief thoughts and perhaps your concluding remarks, we will be done by the allocated time of 8 p.m.
Yeah, I think some of the questions I've answered in the process of our exchange with you. We have learned a lot in this period of reflection. after we received 40% as the ANC. And you can see our efforts. And I can speak for the party, but at the end of the day, what we are doing will be good if it is felt by the people. And the people are saying we see a changed ANC. We see the ANC that is renewing itself and all of that. And I think with the efforts we're putting up post that loss in the period we call renewal and recovery, I hope that this sentiment will come through. If it doesn't come through, it means we have not made an impact and convinced everyone, including in the street, to see that our party is modernizing, is changing, and we have actually reduced the trust deficit between us and the people. But from our part, we are doing everything to change that situation that befell us in May last year. Middle class, I don't know whether we have a middle class or we have a straighter in South Africa. It's something that is debatable because class is defined against the means of production. It means you stand to own something. So these people who are middle straighter, because they are educated, they can afford to buy a car every month and they work for government, can't be defined as a class. So a class is somebody who's got something that they own there and there. And I don't know, we still have to debate that, but we do have a lot of middle straighter people in the ANC. They are not probably in leadership echelons, but the party that we are, there's a lot of the people who are in the middle straighter in the African National Congress who also have views. And that is why in the ANC we pride ourselves of debates and dissent. We don't discipline people in the ANC for espousing divergent views. We discipline them for failing to follow the party line. So if you just wake up and disown a decision and you want to speak with authority on the decision that has been taken, you must understand it's a decision. But you can debate, including now. There is a debate about VAT and the economy and all of that. And members of the ANC have got, in their own capacity and expertise, have got a right to engage with that debate. To say that, but we think that our government must take this approach, and they've been doing that constructively. Now, I'm not talking about people who are whining on WhatsApp groups and all of that, who say all sorts of things. I'm talking about people who contribute to a debate. When a country is faced with a challenge, rather than just sending tips to the minister of finance, send ideas also. Minister, we have heard that you want to increase VAT. We don't think that's an option. Now, we've got scholars, we've got academia and people in the field. Now, you must contribute in that discussion. I was impressed with economic justice. They made the whole comprehensive input on the budget and tax, what must happen. And I read that. And I think some of the inputs that they made, they make a lot of sense that any person sensible somewhere in Treasury will take something from that. And that is the debate we basically are talking about.
Can I ask you to round up here?
Yeah, I'm rounding up.
Because I'll never get this
What
chance
is Billy
again to
Klassen
tell you to
saying?
round up.
What is Billy Klassen saying?
He's effectively saying AfriForum and Solidarity are being joined by your GNU partners.
Oh, okay. No, we have said that. We are South Africa, we are patriots. We must unite, and we must work with anyone, against anyone who badmouth our country and undermine our sovereignty and our patriotism. With all the difficulties we have, we think South Africa is a great country and must be defended by all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbalula. You have given us much food for thought, been typically robust, at times donned the mantle of prophet, and at other times the mantle of critic, but thank you for engaging with us, and please join me in another round of applause for Mr. Mbalula.
Na 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 na